Alright, number 47. Hopefully you're not too bored with me yet. Number 47. Find the measure of an exterior angle for a regular nonagon. Remember that's 9 sides. Round to the nearest tenth. Same formula as before. S equals 180 n minus 2. The sum of the angles. So we went ahead and plugged in the 9. We plugged in that 9 right there. Plugged in the 9, we get the sum of 1,260. I divided by 9 to get one of the exterior angles, or actually one of the interior angles. So after I divided by 9, I figured out one of the interior being 140, and then did 180 minus 140. Remember, if you got a 9-sided figure, however it is drawn, remember if we extend, if we just extend one of those sides, remember that being the interior, this is the exterior, so if I take that 140 and minus it from 180, I get that 40, and that's our exterior. So we ended up with that 40 degrees as our exterior. Next question, find the sum of an exterior angle of a 20-sided figure. Before you really get any farther, if you're finding the sum of an exterior angle, the sum of any exterior angle, no matter what the picture is, whether it's 20 sides, 10 sides, 5 sides, it's always going to be 360. If you don't believe me, try it out. Hopefully you'll take my word for it. The sum, now we're doing the sum now, not all exterior angles are that, but the sum of all the exterior angles are always going to be equal to 360. Alright. On the next question, determine whether it is a quadrilateral or parallelogram. Justify your answer. I'm sorry. Determine whether the quadrilateral. So it is a quadrilateral, and determine whether it is a parallelogram, yes or no. And justify your answer. This was one of those type of questions that's also going to be on your written response questions for the state one, or it was last time at least. Yes, it is a parallelogram, first of all, and why is important? Because these two are the same, opposite angles are congruent, and these two. Don't forget there's several reasons it could be, but in this situation, this is it. Obviously, it's not going to be A because it says no. It's not going to be C because it says no. And then it says consecutive angles are not congruent. We've never talked about anything, proving anything by it not being congruent. Alright, moving on up. This picture looks like we have to deal with 50. Alright, and we're kind of cutting off. Edit. Let's see. Alright, we're going to move that. We'll move it somewhere. Alright. Question 50. A to G. So we got A to G there. First of all, we're with a rectangle. So remember, with rectangles, all these diagonals are the same. A to G, G to B, G to C, and G to D. Tells us A to G. Tells us D to G. So we know they're congruent before we even get to work. We know they're congruent. And then it says find B to D, which is all the way across. So really, if we just find one of these, I can say, hey, that one times 2 ends up getting me what I need. So I set those two equal here, solve through, found K, take K, plug it back into one of them. I did that here, plugged K back in, found out it was 48 was one of the diagonals, multiply it by 2 because there's 2 of them, because B to D is actually 2 of them, so it ends up being 96. Alright, trying 51 again. ADB, I went the other way the last time. ADB we got here. And remember, this whole angle down here at the bottom is 90 degrees. If I look at the next one, CDB, that's the other half of that one. So those two added together, I actually wrote them in there. 2y plus 40 and negative 3y plus 51 should equal a 90-degree angle. So I just simply added those two. I got them over here, added those two together, equals 90 degrees. Solve down through, there's my work, y equals 1. Remember, question doesn't say find y, which they always try to give us that one. Don't let that confuse you. Find CBD. So we're trying to find C. Let's do that in pink. What we're trying to find, we'll do it. Make sure we know it's in pink. CBD. CBD is actually here, this angle. So either way, I plugged what I knew as of y back into here. Plugged y back into both, found this one was 48 and this one was 42. And don't forget, this angle here of 42 is alternate interior of this angle, making these two angles the same. So if that one's 42, then this one's 42 as well, giving us C. Alright, moving on up to our nice old trapezoid there. We got a trapezoid. AB is a midpoint. So this line here, AB, is a midpoint, making this section and this section the same, and this one's the same, which is pretty much the key to the whole problem. Find M to L. So we're trying to find how long, we'll do it in black, how long it is from M to L. We're trying to find. Hopefully you remember, hey, if this one's 34, to go from 34 to 31, they moved, obviously they just subtracted 3. If you just subtract 3 again, you're going to end up getting it. So 31 minus 3 ends up giving us 28. If you want to do it the long way around it, remember you do 34 plus M to L, we can call that X if you want to, plus X divided by 2 is going to equal that middle section of 31. Either way you want to do it, obviously is great and wonderful. I'm happy you did it. Two left. Good old circles we're getting into. Given the diameter of the circle, find the measures. Find the missing measures. So we're looking for the radius and the circumference. Diameter is 22.3. So if we have the diameter, let's try to draw us a quick little circle. Give us a line through there. Remember, the diameter is that whole line from this point to this point. So half of that, so if I just divide it by 2, gives us our radius. If I divide that by 2, I end up with 11.15. So we can go ahead and cancel out. All inches don't have 11.15. Remember, our circumference is pi times diameter, not pi times radius. If you did it in radius, it would be 2r, so pi times 2r or pi times the diameter. If I multiply that times pi, I end up getting 70.06. So C is our wonderful answer. Number 54. Good old 54. Which of the equations given the center and the diameter? First of all, remember, in the equation, first of all, we're not talking about diameter in the equation. Go ahead and write that as a radius. So if the diameter was 6, go ahead and write it. We know it's going to be, the radius is 3. Alright. In saying that, the equation, the center point, -6, 10. Remember, this is our formula. Don't forget, those are minuses in there. Plug in -6. That makes this a +6. Okay, a 10 there makes it a -10 here. So we should have +6. So if it doesn't have +6, we can go ahead and cross them out. And then we need a -10. Hey, look, they both got -10. And remember, the formula is always the radius squared. Our radius is 3. 3 squared is 9. So we do end up getting A. Somebody actually asked to view another one. So I did it again. -3. Remember, that changed to +2, -2, 5, and 25. A little bit of extra given the center and the radius there.